All right, guys, week 3, 18.3. We've got the 2 rounds, double unders, overhead squats, ring muscle ups, dumbbell snatches, bar muscle ups, all that kind of stuff. So you guys have had a time or a chance now to be able to look at the workout, know what it is. This video, unfortunately, is not going to be as straightforward as the others that I've done, just because there are so many variables that have to be taken into account for this workout that are dependent upon you as an athlete. So in other words, a lot of this is going to come down to one-on-one, knowing what your limiter is, knowing how you need to break on this, knowing just what your strategy is going to be, because whether you're good at gymnastics or whether you're good at overhead squats, like that plays a role in how quickly you're going to be coming back around to the double unders and how much rest you're going to need in between sets, all that kind of stuff. So you just need to be thinking about in your head exactly what it is and like how you need to break and go about doing it. And then we can talk about it a little more in depth. And right now, I just want to give you some things to think about as you're kind of making that strategy and trying to formulate a game plan to go about doing it. So let's talk first. I put together a pacing sheet, like somewhat like if someone was going to finish, like this is what it could look like. Not a lot of people are going to finish this at all. So like you said, yeah, Matt Fraser, I can see like Chris Spieler, someone like that finishing this because they're so good at gymnastics and double unders, they just fly through. But you've got to be doing 100 double unders in about a minute every time in order to be able to finish. So, and everything unbroken, minimal transition time as well. So I don't think that's going to come in handy too much. For the ladies, I think that like the moneymaker round is going to be the second round of 12 ring muscle ups. You saw Bethany Shadburn get into that round, and that was where she was able to get a few reps in. I think that's going to be crucial. Like if you're looking for a really good score, I think a really good score is going to be getting into that round of muscle ups and then getting some reps done or possibly getting past it. So let's talk about just real quick warm up, all right? Warm up, this is not the kind of workout that you want to go into extremely ramped up and just like really hype, okay? This is not like last week where we know we're going to be hitting a 1 rep max, so we got to be jazzed up, we got to be ready to go. This is a workout where especially the first round, you have to stay relaxed. If you come out just like those Masters athletes did, where they came out of the gate the first round, they were super tense, you could tell. I mean, they had smooth double unders, but you could just tell they were wasted energy because they were just so fired up. With Travis Williams, he went and he was just steady the entire time, and that's the kind of attitude you need to have going into it. So I'm not saying don't go hard, but this is one that you definitely want to have your wits about you. Just because you start breaking up on double unders, you start getting frustrated, that's the end of the road for you in this workout. There's no room for that. So there's no room for negative self-talk. When you start messing up on double unders, you have to just take it like you knew it was going to happen and then go right back into it. So make sure that you have your mind right going into the workout. But warm up, want to open up the T-spine, okay? So we definitely want to open up the chest, open up the T-spine. I would do some stuff with shoulder external rotation as well, just because coming internal rotation on the bar muscle ups, and then we've got to be externally rotated for the overhead squats. So I would just make sure both of those movement patterns are kind of taken care of. I would do a lot of crawling, things like that. I would start off 2 to 3 minutes on the row, and then after that, kind of try to break just a little bit of a sweat, just going through different movement patterns, things like that, warming up with the bar, snatch balance, you know, just all the typical stuff that you guys always do. And then once you've gotten loosened up a little bit, go into some mobility work, trying to open up the chest, open up the T-spine, as well as the pec. If you have tight pecs and that gives you a little bit of a problem on the overhead squat, that's something that you're going to want to smash and get into. Pacing on the workout. Obviously, the double unders are going to be a huge game changer. That's just going to be, I mean, that's the workout. That's what it is, okay? But how you break that up is dependent upon you and upon where you think the other part in this workout is going to give you the most trouble. So if you know that ring muscle ups are not very good for you and you're having to do 1s, 2s, something like that, you know that you can push pretty hard through this first part of 100 double unders, overhead squats, 100 double unders, because you're going to have time at those rings where you're going to have to rest before you do another rep, right? So the fatigue accumulation there is going to have some time to die down a little bit while you're trying to get ready to go and do your muscle ups, okay? So if that's you, you can push pretty hard at the beginning, and then after that, go through the ring muscle ups and try to push again, because you're going to have to make up ground if you're going to have to break a lot there. If you're not going to have to break a lot at the ring muscle ups, or you can go like 4-4-4, 6-6. I know guys may be trying to go unbroken, which I think is a good idea if you can. With that, it's a little bit different. You need to have a game plan in place as to where you're going to break, whether it be 50 and 50, whether it's going to be, 40, 35, and 25, or however many is left after that. But you need to know going into it, okay? And you guys are going to have differences based upon your limiter. If it's double under skill set, right? Like that's a different limiter than it just being heart rate thing. If double unders get your heart rate up really, really, really high, then from the get-go, you need to be thinking about breaking at least twice in your set of 100. Okay, I know that a lot of people are saying you need to go unbroken. I just don't think that's smart. Okay, especially if you just can't control your double unders. If you can, you're good. Breeze through them and be good to go. Okay, so I already talked about muscle ups, all that kind of stuff. Biggest thing is you cannot get into a red line. All right, in the first round of the workout. If you get red line in the first round of the workout, it is going to be a bad time for you. Okay, so you need to leave a little bit in the tank and know when it's time to push. And if you feel like you have a little left to go at 6-8 minutes, yeah, empty it, okay? But not before then. Before then, it's just staying steady, staying smooth. Retest, okay? Here's the thing. If you're going to retest this workout, I mean, someone finishes the workout, obviously they're not going to retest it, but that's 800 double unders each time. That's 1,600 double unders in 3 days, okay? That's a lot. And if you're going to retest it, you need to make sure that you're taking your recovery seriously on your calves, okay? On your Achilles, all that kind of stuff, all right? Because I can just tell you that if you're doing 400, 500, 600 double unders in a workout and trying to come back 2 days later, right back on that, your calves and the tendons are not going to have that elasticity in them to be able to hold that kinetic energy and be able to keep that bounce and that pop, okay? Unless you're trying to make sure that you take time to recover on them, okay? So I would just make sure if you have a Mark Pro, I would be using that. If you think you're going to be retesting, do a lot of compression work, okay? So Voodoo Floss, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times a day, doesn't matter. Just get extra blood flow in there. And then probably on Sunday or rest day, you need to go on a hike. You need to do something that's getting that active ankle dorsiflexion, plantar flexion movement going back and forth that's activating the calves just to get some blood flow in there and kind of flush that out. So those are my initial thoughts. I may have some more ideas as I take a look at it later. Ladies, I've got, maybe you come here, I want you to show this page. I've got the pacing strategy kind of mapped out like into these 2 sets right here to get to this 12 ring muscle ups, which is the magic number, right, that we're trying to get to. So if this can take 4.5 minutes, okay, this takes 4.5 minutes, we're at 9 total, right? And that leaves us the rest of the time to try to get through this, which if we kept the same pacing strategy, it'd be 13:30, and then you'd have 30 seconds to try to get as many double unders as you can. So that's best case scenario, but this should help kind of keep you on track a little bit. And we can get a little more specific based on you as an athlete. Just talk with me about that. But that's just something initially for you guys to kind of keep in your mind, especially going into it tomorrow for the first time, kind of keep you on track. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up and we'll talk to you tomorrow.